Alright guys, this might be the worst speech yet from Meghan Markle that I've covered. I'm not kidding. Let's start it with the introduction.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome American TV and film actress and UN Women's Advocate for Political Participation.
I'm sure they told him to say that.
Meghan Markle.
Watch this. Watch this.
Well, good evening. That doesn't feel like enough, does it? It's just great.
I swear she's saying good evening. That doesn't feel like enough. But she's motioning with her hands. I think she's saying, without saying it, that applause was not enough, even if it's subconscious, right? You notice that hand motion? That doesn't feel like enough. She wanted more applause. And she's incredibly awkward.
Maybe that's better. UN Secretary General, Executive Director Pumzile. Thank you.
Oh, so fake.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I am tremendously honored to be UN Women's Advocate for Political Participation and Leadership.
How ridiculous is that? What does that title mean? What does she do? Her delivery was very, very bad as well. But again, she uses any position, any platform to get the spotlight.
Proud to be a woman and a feminist. And this evening,
That's a funny thing too. I heard a comedian talking about that. They were saying like they did all this work and no one cheers, but if they say I'm a feminist, people will cheer. So again, Meghan's not actually done anything, right? But you could just say I'm a feminist and people will cheer. I think like Eminem did that. Like he abused his wife, abused his girlfriend. He says I'm a feminist and people cheer for him. So it's like, I guess to some people it doesn't matter what you do. You just say the right word and they cheer.
Extremely proud to stand before you on this significant day, which serves as a reminder to all of us of how far we've come, but also amid celebration, a reminder of the road ahead.
Oh.
I want to tell you a story that'll sort of give context to
this is hard to watch. Her hand motions are weird. She's saying sort of. Just everything's off about the way she's talking. But now listen to her bragging story that has nothing to do with anything.
And my work with UN Women. When I was just 11 years old, I unknowingly and somehow accidentally became a
Just as she gets into it, how ridiculous is this? You're at the UN Women thing, whatever, it's probably pay to play, I think some of you said, and she's about to tell a story bragging about when she was 11.
Kid. It was around the same time as the Beijing conference, so a little over 20 years ago, where in my hometown of Los Angeles, a pivotal moment reshaped my notion of what is possible. See, I had been in school watching a TV show.
Her speaking, right? She's so monotone, so repetitive, so unprepared, right? Totally unprepared. I think she's just there to enjoy being in the spotlight. She's not thought about actually serving the audience, which she almost never does.
And this commercial came on with the tagline
always the same
dishwashing liquid, and the tagline said, "Women all over America are fighting greasy pots and pans."
Again, you notice when she says that how angry and resentful she is, right? Like, so you're gonna see her causes, it's always us versus them. So some of the crowd laughed, but you could see when she says women in America, her voice gets a little tense. She's always saying that us versus them frame. You know, again, sometimes people will get angry about things, but she just goes way over the top.
Two boys
I don't
from my
believe her.
class said, "Yeah, that's where women belong. In the kitchen."
1000% she's lying. 1000%. Like, you see, they said, yeah, that's where women belong, in the kitchen. She didn't say it remotely like a memory, right? Notice like when she's talking, she's not doing a good job delivering. If you're actually recounting word for word what somebody said, you're not gonna say it like that. And we know she lies all the time. By the way, I know she went to a private all-girls school. as well. I don't know if she was already in that school when she was 11. I think she might have been, right? Like, was it middle school and high school? So it's literally impossible. So again, she's making it us versus them. We got to make these two evil boys so I can be the hero. And again, she doesn't actually care about women. She wants to be in these women's causes so she can lead and be above other women because she's constantly competing with women.
I remember feeling shocked and angry and also just feeling so hurt.
Okay, and also is this the UN thing? Like, are you going to be talking about, like, people who've gone through horrible things, who, like, are not allowed to go to school and things, and you're going to tell your story about when you're 11, how you overcame the dishwashing commercial?
Just wasn't right, and something needed to be done. So I went home and I told my dad what had happened. And he encouraged me to write letters. So I did, to the most powerful people I could think of. Now, my 11-year-old...
The other thing as well, now she's trying to make herself sound cute and relatable and all this stuff. From what I understand, it was like a class thing. It wasn't really her. It was like, oh, let's write as a class. It was a little project, letters to the thing. The other thing is she got on TV because of this, because her father was a lighting director and had connections. So it started very early, her getting attention, taking credit for things that were not just her, that were group efforts.
Worked out that if I really wanted someone to hear me, well, then I should write a letter to the First Lady. So off I went, scribbling away.
Crickets, crickets, crickets. That was so funny. She was trying so hard to set up that joke, and then just crickets, crickets. And it's really interesting, like, she has this extreme, like, high and low. I think her narcissism, right? So when she's in control and people are giving her attention, she thinks she's the absolute best. But then you see when it goes somewhere else, she either gets enraged or she gets super insecure super quickly, right? So it's just comparing oneself to others. There's no just like, oh, I'm a person, you're a person. It's who's in control now. And she feels good when she's in control. I say that in this context because look at her face, how it's like just this sort of desperation for acceptance in this moment because her joke was horrible, it was horribly delivered, it was not funny, it was just bad in every single way, and she didn't get any laughs.
Our First Lady at the time, Hillary Clinton. I also put pen to paper and I wrote a letter to my news source at the time, Linda Ellerby, who hosted a kids' news program, and then to powerhouse attorney Gloria Allred, because...
Just name dropping, as she tends to do.
Even at 11, I wanted to cover all my bases. Finally,
so this time when she
wrote
tells the joke, she does her own little silly laugh to tell the crowd to laugh because her jokes are not funny, so they give her a polite laugh.
The soap manufacturer. And a few weeks went by, and to my surprise,
Her delivery is so bad. It's so repetitive. It's very hard to listen to.
Letters of encouragement from Hillary Clinton, from Linda Ellerby.
Wow, you're amazing. Since you were a tiny kid, all the famous people loved you, just like when you're an adult, always name dropping. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't.